So I'm sure at this point, a lot of y'all heard about these, sex dolls. Now, before I go in, I just want to make it real clear that I'm not making any kind of generalizations on all the women. I'm not talking about all the women in the world. I'm just simply talking about the ones that the shit that I'm about to say applies to. So any feelings caught over what I'm about to say, well, I don't know. I guess maybe you're one of the people I'm talking about. Shit. I go on Facebook, right? I see like all these memes and all this, these comedians and, Facebook comedians and comedians on like YouTube and World Star and all that talking about these sex dolls, right? And so I go look at them, like they show the pictures of them like in the thumbnails, and people was like talking about them with the pictures on the side. So I'm looking at them and I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. Body wise, they kind of look like real women, and supposedly they feel like real women too. They got thick thighs, they got a cake, they got a nice shape to them too. Come on, son. What's funny about this is so many women on social media that are just so damn triggered by this shit. They got responses out the ass talking about,
I can't believe y'all really want these fake ass dolls right here, but you got real women all over the place.
And I'm just thinking, really, what's the difference?
That bitch got fake nails, fake eyelashes, fake hair.
Okay, what's the difference?
Her titties are fake and her ass is fake.
Again, what's the difference?
She's a hoe.
What is the difference? The only difference I can really see between the two is that one is a living organism and the other is some old synthetic shit that was made in the factory somewhere. Before y'all go start calling men weirdos and sex crazed maniacs and shit, y'all are just as hypersexual as the males are. And shit, y'all got role models like Kim Kardashian and Amber Rose throughout all of last year, the year before that, the year before that, this year, and probably the years to come after this. Y'all been on this, your body, your choice, pro-ho movement. Some of y'all actually aspire to be strippers. To tell the truth, some of y'all were already sex dolls. Y'all just wanted to be sex dolls with an opinion. A very ass-backward and delusional opinion, but an opinion nonetheless.
A doll is not gonna clean for you. She ain't gonna cook for you. She ain't gonna cater to you like I can.
Oh, you mean all that stuff that you already either don't want to do or can't do or just aren't willing to do at all? Now, I know y'all like to look at how other women are with their men and look at the stuff they do for their man, and y'all like to try to act like that's exactly how you are, but you're not. I mean, I'm just saying, a lot of y'all new age females, like, y'all think shit like that is sexist and it's oppressive and it's backward thinking and it's a primitive way of thinking, ancient traditions that our ancestors of old had done that should be left in the past. If someone even mentions the words cook or clean, y'all scrunch your faces up like,
that is not my fucking job though.
You know what, you're right. It's not your job. It's not, you're not morally obligated to do stuff like that. But the point is, you still wouldn't do that shit. I mean, so the point you're trying to make and trying to point out what a doll can or cannot or would or would not do for a man is moot at best.
Well, a doll can't help you raise your kids and help sustain a family.
Oh, another thing, some of y'all won't do your damn self. Let's really think about this. How many of these new age women really want to be mothers? Aside from, the fact that they'll get bragging rights for being a mom and shit. How many genuinely want to be a mother because they genuinely want to have kids and take that next step in life and, help raise a family and, pass knowledge and all that good shit to the next generation? How many of them really want to do that? Good number of them view motherhood as a burden. It's a waste of your youth. It's a waste of your years as far as you're concerned. But really it just means, them having to be mothers is keeping them from reliving the good old days of their early 20s or their teen years where they would go out and get drunk and do drugs and holding around with everybody and their mama. For some of them, that's a literal statement. Why else do you think they be making these movies about these middle-aged women and these mothers that are just, so aggravated and so tired of how their life is being a mom and shit? Bruh, some of these broads even consider marriage as slavery, yo. They consider it as legit slavery for women.
Well, if it ain't slavery, why else would a woman need to take a man's last name?
I don't know, maybe to signify that, I'm just gonna take a wild stab in the dark. Maybe it just means you're also part of that man's family as well as your old family. Is a woman not my family once she becomes my wife? I mean, shit, if people know each other for a certain amount of time and, they've grown real close to each other, they've grown beyond friends, now do they or do they not consider each other as family now? You got guys that have known each other for years, and they are real close. They got each other back no matter what the situation is, you know what I'm saying? Now they don't consider each other homeboys no more. Now they're brothers. You know, the same thing for women. You got girls out there who've been friends with each other for years, got each other back, with each other through thick and thin. They're not homegirls anymore. Now they're sisters. But I guess you might as well just call that shit slavery too then, right? Because, you know, everything is meant to oppress you in some way. And FYI, you do know that you can keep your original last name and just, you know, add the man's last name to your original last name, right? Just, you know, hyphenate it or some shit. Fucking ignorant ass cretins. Crass ass niggas, I swear, yo.
You can get yourself a sex doll if you want to, but just understand that a sex doll is not going to love you the way a real woman would.
Funny, because the same thing could be said for some of y'all out there. Plenty of y'all who are not loyal. Plenty of you who lie, you cheat, y'all sleep around, y'all got side niggas. But of course, y'all always got some old bullshit semantics to try to justify the dumb shit y'all do. Talking about if your man just kept you satisfied, then you wouldn't have cheated. Bitch, a cheater is gonna cheat regardless, nigga. You can't stop a hoe from being a hoe. If a man's gonna cheat on his wife, he's gonna cheat regardless of how she treats him. Same thing for a woman. If a woman wants to cheat, she's going to cheat regardless, my nigga. There's no cure for hoism. Y'all also like to do stuff like y'all will undermine a man in any way you possibly can. Talk mad shit. Try to be demotivational as hell. Y'all always want to talk all this bullshit about how fragile and how toxic a man's masculinity is because he ain't down with the gay shit that you've been trying to ease him into. Probably tried to do something like stick your fingers up his ass because you thought shit was sweet. Just on natural reflexes, he clocked the fuck out your sick, twisted ass, and you've been bitter about it ever since.
Leaf Village Secret Finger Jutsu!
You got these other people who trying to make these sex dolls seem like it's on some kind of rapist shit.
Look, any man who buys one of these sex dolls is a fucking rapist, okay?
What?
You know what? I don't think Luffy, Piccolo, Mr. Fantastic, Dhalsim, and Mrs. Incredible put together could possibly reach that fucking far. Y'all are really trying hard as hell, aren't you? You failing, but you trying.
Are you telling me that you'd prefer to just get a rubber, plastic, cold, lifeless doll that can't even give consent? You'd prefer that over a real woman? That sounds a little suspect if you ask me.
The same exact thing could be said about you motherfuckers. Y'all be fondling, playing with, slurping and rotting on rubber or battery powered dick that be cold and lifeless and unable to give consent. We could easily be ridiculous and say that y'all playing with some dead beef. But as always, you're gonna try to talk your way out of it with some stupid ass excuse like
That's not the same thing. It's just a body part. It's not an entire body.
matter of fact, bruh. Tell me why on YouTube a while ago, I forgot what channel, I think it was like Vice or I don't know, Fusion, or I don't know, one of those random topic channels and shit that was on YouTube. These motherfuckers was talking about the different kind of dildos and shit that women play with. Now you would think, well, it's a dildo. I mean, how crazy can they get? I mean, what, they got the regular size shit and he's got the overly exaggerated, 20-foot shit? Nah, son. Nah. They got dildos that's sculpted to be shaped like a canine dick. A dog dick, bro. They got dog dick shaped dildos that these women use. They got ones that shaped like dog beefs, and they got ones that shaped like a horse dick. So by that logic, we could easily say that you bitches are into bestiality, can't we? Ain't it just a little weird that some women would prefer to just have a dog rather than a real man? Like, they actually talk about they don't even care about having a man. They rather just, get a dog or like 1,000 cats or some shit. Let me ask you this: with you and your dog, what y'all gonna do? You gonna take a whole jar of peanut butter and put it on your crotch nipple and tell your dog that you got a little treat for him? We could take y'all pervert shit a little further. Ain't it just a little weird when you see a woman post a picture on Facebook or any kind of social media, and it's like a picture of her and her son or just her son, and like the caption says some shit like, her son is the only man that she needs in her life? Sounds kind of pedophile-ish if you ask me, nigga. And not to mention it sounds incestuous as hell too. Yeah, I guess you bitches come straight out of Game of Thrones, huh? If you really think I'm reaching, let's switch the scenario, change up the dynamics, right? Let's say it's a father with his daughter, right? He take a picture and the caption says, yo, my daughter is the only woman I need in my life, bro. You just called CPS in your head just now, didn't you? Motherfuckers come to the dude house, take the daughter away. Now the dude on video looking like Clarice.
I just want my baby. I'm not doing anything illegal. What more do you want from me?
Just take your dolls and go, okay? I mean, we ain't really sweating you anyway. We could fit our dildos in our purses.
Okay.
Let me ask you this question. I mean, do you really believe a man just beating his meat and watching porn all day, or getting a sex doll and just having a sex doll instead of a real woman is somehow sadder than a woman just having a house full of cats and dogs playing with a dildo in the fucking wine cabinet pretending like she's the happiest motherfucker on earth? You think somehow that's sadder than that shit? Get the fuck out of here. Good women out there who are in a good situation, they're in a good relationship, you know what I'm saying? They got themselves a good man. They're more than down for each other. The good women out there know that they don't have a damn thing to worry about. They do not have to worry about they man getting a doll and leaving them for some old artificial coochie. They know that their situation is good. Now, I mean, unless the dude is just that much of a fucking weirdo and he'd rather prefer a doll over a real woman. You know, like I said, those women don't have anything to worry about, period. So I don't really see them, you know, out here bitching and complaining. At the most, maybe they'll say like, it's a little weird, but alright. Now there's other women on the other hand who the only reason why they're feeling so secure for why they're not worried about nothing is not because they're such a good woman and they know that they man ain't gonna go nowhere. It's simply because they know fully that they man most likely cannot afford one of these dolls. Niggas just simply don't have the finances to buy some shit like that. But let me remind you, this government shutdown shit don't mean shit. Nigga, them W-2s are still coming. And am I right or am I wrong? Don't people tend to buy a lot of stupid shit when they get their W-2s? You're starting to sweat a little bit, ain't you? Take a look at what's going on in Japan right now, bruh. A good chunk of the men over there are just straight up abstaining from the women over there. Now, of course, it's not all the men over there, obviously. But it's a good enough chunk of them for it to be recognized as news and for it to even be recognized as a crisis. There's men over there who are abstaining from the women in terms of sex-wise and relationship-wise. They'd rather either cop one of these sex dolls or one of them body pillows with the anime characters on them, or they'd rather just watch some porn, I assume hentai specifically, or they'd rather just get one of those little Siri or Alexa or whatever the fuck, one of those systems that would display a holographic image of some old Hatsune Miku or Sailor Moon looking bitch that'll talk to them while they get up for work in the morning and talk to them before they go to bed at night. I'm just saying, you are very delusional if you think something like what's going on in Japan can't occur in America or anywhere else in the world. Because let me tell you something, people are into all kinds of deviant shit over here. Cause you got dudes over here, you know, sticking their tongues in and licking buttholes and getting their butthole licked. You really think they won't go out and poke some rubber coochie? Be serious. That's like the least weirdest shit you can do. It's like saying the word damn in a rated PG movie.
I mean, shit, it's hard enough just being a woman. Now you got women out here. Now y'all got women trying to compete with these dolls, and you guys are setting some very unfair and unrealistic, superficial standards of what you think a woman is supposed to look like.
So we just gonna sit up here and act like y'all don't do the exact same shit with men? I'll be talking about stuff like your dildo goes deeper, your bullet and your rabbit, your shower head, your Xbox controller, whatever, goes way deeper and satisfies you way more than any of the 25 plus niggas that bangs you out over the past have ever done. But I mean, y'all be wanting all men to have a big dick, be over 6 feet tall, have green eyes, be muscular, handsome as hell, have a pipe game that's out of this world. I guess those are fair expectations. Those are pretty fair, right? Because we totally have complete control over what size our beef is going to be and how tall we're going to be and what color our eyes are. But let a man say he don't want to get with a woman that's built like Majin Buu. Nigga, it's mass hysteria, nigga. I forgot, body shaming is one of those things that's only bad if it happens to a female. My dumb ass.
You just can't handle a woman, you superficial asshole.
You just can't handle when all that cold shit that comes out of your mouth gets thrown right back at you. Y'all really think Lois Lane is with Superman because she loves him? Get the fuck out of here. Keep it a stack, yo. Let's keep it a stack. We all know that a lot of these normal ass women who got these old superhuman ass boyfriends, we all know the reason why they with them. Superhuman strength, first of all. Then they got the superhuman reflexes and agility. And they got the superhuman endurance. And the superhuman endurance, and more superhuman endurance. That means they know that stroke game gonna be something else. That's why they not with regular niggas.
You're too weak to handle a strong woman in the first place.
That's an interesting thing that y'all like to say, because I really wonder what your definition of strong is. Because I think your definition of strong just means to annoy the fuck out of people. I don't see how that's a strength. That doesn't really strengthen people, it just makes them not like you. I mean, cause let's think about this, right? If you got a woman who's tired of a man's bullshit, she's tired of him treating her like trash and not appreciating her, and not doing the things that a man's supposed to do in a relationship. She's doing her part completely, but he's just not living up to his end. Let's say she finally grows tired of his shit and she decides to pack her things and leave his ass, right? Y'all say she's smart. Yeah, girl, you made the right choice. You don't need a man that don't treat you right. Let's switch it. Let's say a man is getting treated like shit by a woman, right? It's vice versa the situation that I just described with the woman, right? The man's doing his part, doing all the things a man should be doing, but she's just treating him like shit, not appreciating him, trying to downplay him, down-talk him, and all kinds of crazy shit, right? If he packs his shit and leaves her ass, he's weak for that. So let me get this straight. If a woman don't want to put up with a man bullshit and she leaves, she's smart. But if a man don't want to put up with a woman's bullshit, he's weak, or maybe, just maybe he has plans on living past 50 because he's not trying to die of some stress-related illness. Speaking of y'all wanting to call men weak, I mean, a lot of y'all same women will agree 100% with a lot of them Facebook relationship gurus and shit who will rarely ever call out women on their bullshit, but will always talk about all the bad stuff that the men do. As soon as a man makes a video calling out all the ain't shit women out there that do exist,
I bet you got a tiny ass dick.
oh shit, she made an overused ass dick joke that ain't even funny no more. I mean shit, y'all will even mob up on other women. Y'all will even mob up on other women who will make videos calling other women out on their bullshit. It sounds to me like y'all just don't like the truth. Another reason I don't get why some of y'all are mad about these sex dolls is because a good number of y'all be having boyfriends, but y'all be lesbians on the fucking download. Y'all be acting like y'all don't even like men to begin with.
Nigga, you gay!
Maybe some of y'all are getting triggered about these dolls is because y'all are realizing that these dolls mean y'all won't be getting sweated as much. Got plenty of females out here acting like coochie is currency. That's the only way some of them actually feel like they're important or, feel like they have any kind of power over someone, because they're manipulative as hell. Now they got these female sex bots hitting the market. Now them same females feel all worthless and powerless and shit. Then they want to bring up points like,
If a man decides to get one of these sex dolls, it's because he's selfish. A sex-crazed, out-of-control beast who just has no control over himself. He's such a fucking monster who only cares about sex.
whenever y'all be on some wild shit, sucking and kissing on a bunch of other people, we can't say shit about that, right? Because that doesn't make you a hoe. That just simply means that's a woman who's exploring her sexuality.
Just because a woman chooses to be promiscuous and sleep around or even cheat, that does not make her a slut, okay?
Hello?
If a man was sleeping around with a bunch of different women and was cheating all the time, you would call him a dog, wouldn't you? Yes, you would. Stop lying. Shut up. I mean, y'all stay coming out your face talking about how much y'all just hate men, trying to convince the world just how much women don't need men, and how strong and independent you are, and saying shit like men ain't shit, and the only thing they good for is sperm and fixing cars, and you can get sperm from a bank, and men are nothing, and women don't exist for you men. All kinds of shit, right? It's like, you know what? Fine. Fucking fine. You can be that way. Alright? You can be all anti-men and all that shit and do you over there. I'm gonna go cop me one of these sex doll bitches.
You're really gonna take a sex robot over us?
Y'all talk all this trash, all this negative shit about men. Now the second that these sex bots make their debut, and you got men out here, some are just joking. I mean, you got men out here saying that they don't need your ass. Now you want to feel some type of way about it. I mean, you said you was a strong, independent woman that don't need no man for nothing. So what's the problem? What, you worried that there's going to be less availability of what you said you didn't want in the first place? And you got all this evil and negative shit that's coming out your mouth, and you directing it at the wrong people. You got other niggas that hurt you and shit. You got other niggas that hurt your feelings and broke your heart and shit. And you want to take it out on all the men, because it's not enough that just some of us are fucked up. You need us all to be monsters. All of us need to be cheaters, and all of us need to be some kind of a sick ass predator or some kind of a rapist or some shit. You want all of us to be that way. Y'all just bring out this constant demonization of the male image and shit, and then you try to pass on all that old bullshit knowledge to younger girls so that they grow up into adult women who grow up being fearful or being very hateful of men, because y'all are bitter as shit. And then y'all got the audacity to wonder, why is it that men seem to be becoming so much more callous towards women these days? You got plenty of women out here who will just continue to undermine a man's problems and just ignore his trials and tribulations, because everything is such a pissing contest with you. You're always trying to compete to see who has it worse and shit.
You may think you've had a bad day, but regardless of what a man goes through, it'll never be anything compared to what a woman goes through.
I mean, hearing something like that, you just can't help but feel like, well, fuck you too then. Want us to have empathy and compassion and to listen to your thoughts and care about what you feel and what you're going through and stuff like that, but you don't even bother returning the favor. What type of shit is that?
I don't know.
There's another part of the reason for why men don't even talk to their women about what's on their mind. Either one, she's not really listening, or she doesn't really care, or she's gonna laugh at the shit, or you tell her bitch ass homegirls about it and they'll all laugh about it. They'll listen to what we said and then try to use it as ammunition in the later argument. But let's address this woman's mentality of this whole they don't need us shit. How long did you think all this alienating and demonization of our image was gonna go on? How long did you think y'all was gonna be able to keep this shit up? Did y'all really think that your negativity was gonna just continue to go on like some kind of a running gag on a sitcom? This issue did not come out of nowhere. It's been building up for quite some time. Women constantly telling men that they don't need us, that we're unnecessary, the world would be better if we didn't exist and all that other shit. That they want to fight over anything and everything. They argue over dumb and irrelevant shit. Y'all don't even want to acknowledge the men that got their shit together or are getting their shit together. You causing all this unnecessary stress, all this unnecessary aggravation, having all these unnecessary ass arguments. And then they got the nerve to complain that a man is becoming impotent and can't satisfy them in bed no more. As if all that unnecessary stress that they were causing wasn't one of the main things that caused the impotence. Hence the reason why dude can't put in that work in bed as much as he used to. Little to nothing to do with the fact that she turned 40. I mean, let me tell you, there's plenty of women that's like 40, 50, 60 plus years old that's still in good shape and still look good. In a lot of relationships, the reason why a man is becoming less attracted to his wife is because maybe she's just the reason why he's so fucking stressed out that he can't possibly think about, that he can't possibly think about going to bed with her when really he'd rather uppercut the bitch down some steps. And a lot of people think this shit is normal in marriages. It's not. Anybody who really thinks that the point of a man getting a wife is so him and her can be miserable together is a fucking liar. That is straight bullshit, man. The purpose of a man finding a woman is not to make each other miserable. To build families, make each other lives better, help each other grow, make each other's experience in this life a little more tolerable. Now, would I personally get one of these sex dolls? No. And for three main reasons. I mean, number one, them shits is like, what, $2,000-$3,000? I don't got the type of bread to be buying shit like that. I could be spending my money on some better stuff like art supplies and manga and shit like that. Number two, contrary to what some of you may have believed up until this point, I actually prefer a real woman. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I need responses. I need interaction. I need, feedback. A doll ain't gonna give me that. And three, I'll be way too paranoid that 50 other niggas probably done use that shit before I bought it. Am I advocating or supporting these sex bots? No, not in the slightest. I'm just simply saying, women have had dildos and a whole plethora of bizarre shit that they've used to pleasure themselves. But the second us men get one of those, pocket joints, or we get one of these old thick ass sex bot chicks, now we're the weirdos. Society want people to think that men are these perverted, sick sexual deviants that just have no self-control, and women are pure-hearted and that they're very self-contained and they have full control over themselves and all that, which is of course more bullshit. Like I said before, these women over here be talking about they can fit their dildos in their purses. That means some of them be taking their shit to work. They be poking themselves up in the bathroom. They go to the bathroom try to rub one in. Point is, you women got a bunch of weird stuff, so y'all don't get to talk about us being weird because we got some stuff now. I mean, let's be serious. Nobody ever really cared or bothered y'all about having y'all stuff. Y'all will say that these female sex bots is weird until they make male sex dolls with chiseled features, that they're tall and, muscular, they're built, and they got all these chiseled features, and they look like, I don't know, either Jason Momoa or Idris Elba, or the nigga that plays Thor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They got like a dildo that has like adjustable sizes and it can vibrate. Are these female sex bots weird? Yes, very much they are weird, but so are you and your toys, you fucking hypocrite. Sex bot is never going to be able to replace a real one. better yet, more specifically, it's never going to be able to replace a good woman. Now, in closing, I just want to say that I will never support the ass backward ideology of the complete and total separation and disassociation of men and women. If men and women were meant to exist separately, then I mean, there would be no need for us to even share the same planet. But there are a large number of women who absolutely despise and hate men and just can't stand the sight of them. They hate the idea of manhood and masculinity. They hate the Y chromosome and all that other shit. There's also a very large group of males who feel just as hateful towards the women. I think these two groups should have their own separate pieces of land. Those males can have just, one big ass island with all of them on it. And those females can have one big ass island with all of them on it. Oh, and you got in the middle all the men and women who are, normal and actually want to be around each other, can actually chill out in the middle ground with all the other land because, they'll need the extra room because of, reproduction and shit. If I offended anybody, I just, want to make it clear again that I meant what I said.
You can forcefully suck my nuts, nigga.
But on a more serious note, this sex bot conversation, this whole sex bot topic, it just goes to show that there's men and women who've been feeling a certain type of way that they really haven't been too vocal about lately, up until this point. So I'm just saying, this is a serious conversation that needs to be held as long as people are willing to remain civil. I mean, if y'all want to continue this discussion down in the comments, cool. Peace.
Yeah. なあ聞いたかいるらしいぜ悪魔がそれもそこら中いるみたいで悪魔がだけど実際悪魔ってどんな見かけ